Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Beau. We're going to do another of these starter guides. This one is all about Q&A I've received over my first 20 videos in the series. So this will be a random assortment of different question and answers, but I think it'll be very useful for some of you. Mr. PNG Mutris was the one who asked a bunch of questions, and I figured it would be good to make a video on it because I'm sure a lot of other people have similar questions regarding Mountain Blade. So, all right, here we go. Number one, is trading worth the effort? I've watched a few different people's videos and they say just don't even bother. Quite honestly, I would probably have to agree because you're going to go through here, you're going to buy supplies, and generally they're pretty crap. So like, okay, 28, great. Let's just buy 28. Okay, so that's some trade goods. We're just going to blast over here just for the sake of efficiency. Okay, and then we go, all right, goods merchant. How much can I get? Oh, 45. Wow, we made a profit of a cool $17 or $27. Wow. If depending on the size of your army, you know, I would really assume that would not be a huge amount. Even if you did like spice runs, which spice runs generally you'll make a couple hundred a piece. Like silk, okay, like 648 for silk. All right, we'll go back to over here and see if I can resell it. Okay, how much can I sell that for? No, can't sell it there, so I have to go a little further away. All right, let's assume I go to Shiraz. And then I sell it here. Oof. Nope, that's not working out either. So you see there's just too much kind of variability to it, or you have to go way far away in order to make a profit. So let's say if you go all the way to Previn or something, and it's like, okay, well, can I sell this silk item? Nah. Even though they don't want it. So how am I supposed to break even at 600 and some dollars? Ah, fucking thing. Ah, dick. Oh man, I'm trying to do a freaking guide here. Oh well, this happens sometimes. Where are you, son of a bitch? Oh, there you are. Oh, come on, how am I missing this? Oh. There you go. Damn. Is that it? Well, there's a great way to make some money right there. Got 200 bucks. Not the arena. Good. Okay. Anyway, back to it. See, how damn hard is it to make money on that? It's going to be like you're going to have to hold it. And plus the stuff weighs a bunch. So it'll slow you down. So I don't see a big, huge Benny to it at all. So if it were me, I would suggest just grinding a little bit of like bandits or getting loot drops or putting more points into looting, which will be a good segue for number 2. Let's see, we'll wait here for some time. Number 2, in the beginning phase, is it all about grinding, and is it only worth doing quests in peacetime like you stated? Generally the first like phase, so there's the early game, the mid game, and like kind of the end game. So basically the early game is anytime you're just trying to build your core army, and just before taking like a castle or getting granted your first castle, I would say is probably mid phase, and then starting your own kingdom is usually the later phase. And the first time you're just trying to get experience for your dude, right? So your main guy just needs to keep leveling up. You also are starting to build up your companions. You're also starting to build a core army. And all that just takes a lot of grinding because you really need the experience. Because, I mean, even if you had all the training, you put a lot of training into stuff, it's going to take for freaking ever sitting around. And you're going to lose a lot more money based on the fact that your dudes are going to be needing like food and money. And it's just not a very good use of time. All right, so come on, man. Fuck, I just want to get in a fight. I just want to fight you. Give the people something to look at while I do my guides. There you go. Okay, so it does capturing the first Okay, third question. Does capturing your first castle mean the starting point of your own kingdom, i.e. now you are king? Or that the castle you have captured a part of your faction, assuming you are a vassal? Well, obviously if you capture your own castle, it's the beginning of your kingdom. Whereas if you just took a castle and are granted a castle, you know, you're still subject to the faction that you are a part of and their whims. And I would say, you know, that when you capture a castle, really it just means that you're removing that one from future consideration, or at least helping eliminate a bunch of factions. Quite honestly, if it were me, I would focus less on trying to capture different castles if you're a part of a faction, because you don't want to make a super strong faction. For when you break out, you want to make sure there's like 5 really weak or weaker factions, just because it makes it easier when you go off and do your own thing. Because if you've got like 4 or 5 kind of blah factions, that's great, because the ideal is to have 2 or 3 factions. One faction that has like 3 wars going on at the same time. If you can find that, then you are totally rocking, because then it's super easy to capture your first castle, because people are not going to want to go and fight a 3-sided war, which is kind of what you're shooting for. So I don't know if that answered the question, but basically you have to make sure to maintain as many of the factions as possible that are still alive when you take your first kingdom, so that way you have the best chance of actually being able to take a castle unobstructed, like we did in this one. Okay, anyway. Is it worth, number 4, is it worth becoming a vassal before you start your own kingdom, and only to piss off the king you bail, or is it when you start your own kingdom? Okay, so there's 2 different parts to this. First part, yes, it is very worth it to become a vassal because it allows you to go to war with other factions easily as a mercenary or even as a vassal. You're going to be able to gain reputation faster, because when you go to war and you like attack different nobles, you release them, and generally you'll get a boost with that guy, right? Like a thumbs up, you get 5 points of friendship. It allows you to accrue right to rule as well, because as the kingdom goes into war and leaves war, you'll get right to rule. Again, you want to try to minimize the amount of castles that faction takes if possible, because you want to make sure not to upset the balance too much. So anyway, it is worth it because you can start accruing money, because even though that someone else owns, let's say, this castle, right, even though it's my own kingdom, you can start accruing your army. You can start saving cash, because you're going to need all kinds of cash when you start your own faction. It's just how it goes. And it lets you go and have the time to, like, say, go over here and start talking to like guild masters and building up your industries, because it is important to have that income stream set up way before you start to do your own thing. Because man, does it suck trying to you don't want to be without cash when you start. That's just how it goes. There you go. Because if you are really struggling for money, but when you first start your kingdom, you're gonna lose it really fast. It's the sucky nature of the game, because you're not gonna be able to pay troops as well. It's gonna be difficult to do upgrades. So I would highly recommend being a vassal first, and then going from there. Like, there really isn't any downside to it. Again, when you leave, you're going to piss off the king a bit, only if you have a bad relationship with the guy. If you've had a good relationship with the king to start with, then you're going to be good to go. As far as, even if you leave, he might be a little irritated with you. But again, if your right to rule is big enough, which you shouldn't be doing your own kingdom until you're at about 50, then you'll be fine. So let's see, what else? Okay, let's keep moving. Marriage and relationships. What's the pros and cons? And can you have more than one wife? Okay, the biggest reason to get married is right to rule. If you get married in this game, your right to rule will increase a lot. Plus, friendships within the faction grow stronger, which means even if you leave, you're still going to have a lot of, there we go, a lot of good stuff you can do. All right, yeah. He's pretty pissed with me. That's all right. It gives you access to like a higher relationship with different lords, assuming that the lady you marry has got like either brothers, because if you have brothers, you're going to get those guys. Plus, then the father, he's more than likely going to be another lord, which helps you build there too. But really, it's to boost your right to rule. That would be the main reason you want to get married, because trying to get to that 50 right to rule can take a while. But if you get married, also you can do, if you get married, you're able to take your wife and she can organize feasts. Feasts, super, super, super good, especially after you start your own kingdom, for maintaining the peace and order and to boost the standing among your different lords. We'll talk about that in a second, and that's pretty critical. Feasting is almost required in order to keep all of your lords super happy, because we'll move into the next question. Next question is, what's the deal with putting companions in charge of your castles or villages if you can? And can you move ownership between different castles, ruling companions? Yes. So you can go and say, let's just, for instance, go talk with Fiery Anus here. We say, hey man, how you doing? Hey, I was curious. I'd like to ask you something. You're interested in holding the fief? He'll then say, yeah, sure. He's a noble, so that's a good one to give to. But because you want to look for just nobles, would be my suggestion to give fiefs to, just because it won't piss off the rest of the lords. Because if you give lordship to someone who isn't of noble blood, you're gonna piss off so many of the other lords. So it just, don't do it initially. Okay, just give vassalship or fiefs to your lord characters. So you can give as many as you want, but remember that when you give a fief to somebody, they'll start with a certain level of commitment to you. Actually, let's just give it to Fiery Anus. All right, so Fiery Anus, I want to ask you something. You want to hold a fief? All right, bud. There you go. Okay, so as you see, he now increased his relation with me to 8, and he's now to 41. So he will go off and eventually create his own crew. So he's now Lord of Tajanuk. As you can see, Fiery Anus is the Lord of this, which is good. You like that. You will lose the ability to like do upgrades or manage the village, which is just part of the game. However, now you'll gain another standing army that'll help you defend your realm. That's the kind of giveaway. So if I was to say give like Lasat here 1, what it'll do is, well, actually Lasat will give me like a good relation, but it'll decrease Fiery Anus's relation to me because he wanted to have more, so you have to balance it. So as you give more fiefs away to different people, it will have effects across the rest of your companions or your vassals. So feasting is how you kind of maintain that, because it'll give you a boost across the board for everyone who attended. Because managing that gets a little hairy once you get into like 10 or 15 vassals, then everyone gets pissed about everything. So my suggestion is when you take new castles, give it to yourself first, because then you can divvy them out later rather than giving it to somebody. So that would be my suggestion. And you have to play it as far as, because if you give a fief to somebody, they'll get like +5 to the relation with you, and everyone else is like -1 or -2. So if you can kind of balance who you give to and when, you'll actually come out ahead. Anyway, don't worry about that right now. Okay, next question is, how do companions create their own armies and move about? Can you order them? Okay, so you have to give them a fief, like we just did with Fiery Anus. He will then make his own army. So while I'm talking, I'll just let it run. He'll make his own army, raise an army, and then go around and do stuff. If you are the marshal of your faction, then you can order people to follow you. Doesn't mean they will follow you, but it certainly means that you have a better shot at them following you. But you can order all of your vassals to come at you, to gather to you, and then you can all roll together just like as if you have a marshalship. Okay, there he is. There's Fiery Anus, see? Look at him. Here's Fiery Anus right there. He's got 36. So hi there, buddy. Okay. I would like to give some troops to you, so we will hook him up with some Swedian knights. There you go. He'll be happy now. Nice. I would suggest trying to get your first lord at least, or even all of your lords, boosted up with as many characters as you can, so, or better troops as possible. Helps them out. But they will act alone for right now. He will more than likely just go patrol and kill bandits, or if there's a faction war, then he will also go around and just help you beat the crap out of things. So it's nice to have. Not responded to Swedia's. Okay, whatever. Okay, so here we go. Number 8. Is it better to control all lands and castles on your own, or divvy them out among your companions? There are 2 schools of thought in this regard. All right. You can, if you have an area that you can easily defend or move around in yourself, you can potentially do it with a very small amount of people. The problem is trying to move yourself quick enough or have a fast enough army to be able to reach sieges or to intercept lords or any of that other stuff gets a little bit weird if you're dealing in let's just say this, right? Like the Sultan Saranide area. It's pretty big. You have entrances here, here, and here for opposing armies to come at you. It can get a little hairy trying to go from here all the way over to Shiraz to defend by yourself. You're more than likely not going to be able to do it. That's why you assign different NPCs. So you would say, I would take Shiraz as the capital. Then I'd give some companions this castle and Deburg or something, or this castle to defend this area, and this castle to defend this area, because then they'll just patrol around that area, generally, which is what you want them to do. It's not going to be very useful when the entire faction masses and comes through an area, but it'll give you time to react. But anyway, that's later on in the game. Initially, what you'll want to do is just try to maintain a small area. You're going to try to defend against that area, but you really need to consider giving more control to more vassals as you expand your kingdom, because there's no way your main army can move fast enough to react. It gets really hairy as soon as you start getting into the really big areas. So that's kind of what I can recommend there. You want to try to control as much land as possible for yourself. Realistically, it's going to take a lot of time. Damn, I ate through a lot of food. Shoot. Which is another negative. You'll eat through so much food sitting in town that it'll kind of take you a while. You can't really do that too long. There we go. Nice. Okay, last question. Or is it vassals get to run the show instead of companions? As you build your kingdom and it gets bigger, 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 you start conquering different kingdoms. Or let's say we went out, kicked ass, and took care of the Sultan Serenite completely, or even partially. If you have high enough right to rule, and you still have friendships with lords or other people, they will leave their faction and then say they're joining yours, right? And they'll all start coming to your, like to your main castle. Let me see if I can just show you on a different one. Demo dude, perfect example. Okay, here we go. So if I go to my castle, you'll see just all kinds of lords just hanging out. These guys are waiting for me to say, I would like you as a vassal. All right, so they left their individual kingdoms to try to join me, really is how that goes. I don't want any of them. Just because it's a pain in the ass to maintain all the different relations, but you got to do shitloads of feasts in that case. But that's what happens. So you eventually want the vassals to be doing all the work for you, especially when you look at it this, right? Like, look how much land Demo Dude has to cover. There's no way I can cover all that without having NPCs. So you definitely want to give away all of your borderlands to different NPCs to make sure that they're going to stay in that area to defend it, right? Like that. So there you go. But that's way later in the game, and this is a cheated character anyway, and the whole purpose of Demo Dude is just rocking balls and killing people. But anywho, if that was useful for you, I can do more of these Q&As. Feel free to put them in the comments below. If you made it this far, why don't you put down applesauce in the comments to tell me you made it this far. It's also because my little boy left me a packet of applesauce on my desk. And I'm contemplating eating it because, you know, I am a little bit peckish. But hey, whatever. Not like that's the sexy info you guys came for. But again, these are just questions that people have asked me. Well, one guy asked me a bunch of questions that I figure would be a good opportunity to answer in one shot. God damn, I love that. Look at that. Deno Dude's just wrecking balls. And, oh, man. Let's see. Let's go to the king. Go to the dungeon. It's just full. I'm running out of room. Actually, I have so many in here, you can't even keep them all. Try to collect all these guys. Anyway, different video. But let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I'll see about answering them. If you got anything specific, I can certainly do a lot to answer that. So until next time, like, comment, subscribe, you guys, and love you long time. See ya.